Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Erica and I'm here to talk to you about my stitching, my sewing, my 4th of July, and who knows what else. If you're new, thank you so much for checking out my channel. I hope you stay and watch the video and enjoy it. If you're returning, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of my subscribers and all of the likes, comments, tags on social media, following me on Instagram. All of it. I love it so much. It is just one amazing community, not just on my channel, but on all Flosstubes. I am so glad I decided to start doing these 14 weeks ago now. It's crazy it's been that long already. But thank you guys. So I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. We had a really fun 4th of July. This is our first year in this house that we're in. We moved here in October from Alaska. And the sun sets here around 9:30. And so the fireworks shows all started really late. You know, my daughter's in bed around 7:30, my son is in bed by 8:30. And we really wanted them to see the fireworks, but I also knew if they weren't gonna get home till 11 o'clock, that was gonna be rough. My daughter very likely would either just sleep through the fireworks or be crying because she's very tired. And my son, he probably would have done okay, because even though he goes to bed at 8:30, he will sit in there and play in his crib, or it's not a crib, it's like a toddler bed now, gosh, until 9:30 most nights. So he's up pretty late. So I think he would have been fine, and my husband was gonna take him, just the two of them. And then I think last minute, he's like, no, we're not gonna do that, because he was getting ready to go for a big camping, fishing trip the next day, my husband was, and we just kind of both knew that it was probably going to be pushing it, having our kids out that late. So we, last minute, like literally on the 4th of July, I ran to a fireworks stand that my husband saw earlier in the day. And of course they were sold out. And fireworks, I guess, are illegal in Colorado, like any type of shooting fireworks, even sparklers, and yet they sell them here and everybody does them. So we do live right outside the Colorado Springs city limits, and that helps some, because I think it's just a little bit less regulated out here. But we just got a couple, like the pop-it things, the sparklers, and one or two other things, and then we were out front doing them at like 8. It was right after, oh no, we were there first before. My daughter was out there with us. And he said, oh, by the way, our neighborhood does a fireworks show. Like one that rivals the one that the city does. And I was like, I thought they were illegal. He's like, yeah, nobody cares. And he's like, they do them on the street, literally one street right in front of us, the next street over. And I was like, well, cop lives there. And he's like, yeah, like there's nobody cares. So he didn't say what time it started. He just said, you know, when it gets dark. So I assumed it was going to be around at 9:32. So I put my daughter to bed as usual. And then not even 10 minutes later, the most amazing fireworks show ever in our very front yard started. And I felt so bad that she missed it. And I was kind of hoping that she was gonna wake up so she could come outside and watch it with us, but of course she didn't, and she just slept through like these insane loud fireworks. My son was on cloud 9. It was the cutest thing ever. We all sat in the back of my husband's truck and watched it, and it is going to be an amazing 4th of July tradition now. If you hear my kids screaming, they're downstairs today. My husband's eating breakfast with them. And I have my coffee and my little Disneyland cup. So that's the last time we saw fireworks, was Disney. And I asked my son on the 4th of July, I said, last time I saw fireworks was at Disneyland. And he's like, yeah, but I like these better. I was like, why? He's like, because we have everything we need here. Oh my God, speaking of so sweet. Maybe 3 or 4 days ago, my son, 3 years old, almost 4. I'm gonna have to start calling him a 4-year-old soon to get 2 months. He's like, Mom, I want to write you a thank you card today. And I said, for what? And he said, for everything you do. I was like, do you want a pony? I'll get you a pony. Anything you want today, you're gonna get it. I think I posted a photo of it on my Instagram, Erica D House, but if not, I will today, because it's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It is. He said it was me and Daddy. It was me and Dad, and we're both holding one heart. It's so cute. Anyways, so we had a really good week. Like I said, my husband went fishing yesterday, and well, he left at like 11 o'clock at night on 4th of July, because he's just insane. And he will just drive like all night to go fishing somewhere so he can be there from the sunrise to sunset. So he and a friend drove about 3 hours west of here. I can't remember the lake for the life of me, so don't even ask. I don't think anyone would ask anyways. But it was about 12 to 13,000 feet elevation. and the Springs area, we're already at 6,000 feet. I still have not adjusted to running up here. But they went to up to 12 or 13,000, and he texted me. He didn't have cell phone service, so when they started heading home yesterday, he texted me. He was like, "Oh my God, I carried a case of beer in my backpack up the mountain for 4.5 miles." I was like, well, it's good exercise for you. Okay, getting into things. It might, well, I was gonna say it might be a shorter video, but it's already 5 minutes into it. I only worked on 2 projects this week. Because if you haven't noticed yet, I am rather obsessive about things. And so when I get into something, that's like all I want to work on. So I've worked on only 2 projects. I do have 3 new bags for the shop, cross-stitch project bags. I've got 1 finished. I have the zipper pulls done for 2, so I can at least show you the fabric. And then we'll do the giveaway. Oh, and I also have my mom's giant, amazing cross-stitch that she did for me as my birth sampler. So I will show you that. So the first one is in my, I guess I was gonna say I guess I need to use a new bag, but no, I'm just gonna use Patriotic all year, it's fine. This is my Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday series. I did get 3 new patterns for this week. Oh my gosh, you guys. I spent so much money on cross stitch this week. So much money. I spent the same amount in the last couple days that I probably have spent in the same 2 months. Now, to be fair, I haven't bought a whole lot recently. Like these 3 patterns was kind of it. I got the scroll frame at the used craft store for $4, but I really haven't been buying anything because I've been working on these big projects. Threads Entwined, if you're not following them on Instagram, you need to be. It's, I'll link it below, Threads Entwined. They're a brick and mortar shop, I think out in California, but they also have a really good online store. And she randomly gave 25% off for like 5 days. So it might still be going today. If you are interested, you should check it out. Her prices rival 123 Stitch, and with a 25% off, it's insanely good prices. So I got a lot. I don't even want to tell you what I got, but I will say I got my first memorabilia. I guess I just told you what I got. I have been eyeing those for a while. Ever since getting into Flosstube and back into cross stitch, I feel like you are a advanced cross stitcher if you tackle a, what is it, Chatelaine? They're beautiful, and I want to do the Poison Garden one. A Mirabilia. Any of those, like designers that use a lot of beading, a lot of Krynic, they're just big pieces. So I'm really excited. So I got a lot. So hopefully it comes next week. So the next Flosstube I'm going to do is going to pretty much just be a haul video because it's going to be insane. And so these are the last 3 patterns I needed for my Christmas village. We have the Florist. Oh, and then I also wonder if the glare is why this isn't focusing as well on these things. I don't know if that's gonna be better. Maybe not. Well, cute florist, and they've got like a little Christmas wreath and stuff in the window, so that's why I got that one. The Sweet Shop, which is gonna go directly under my grandparents' house because Grandpa's got a sweet tooth. And I appreciate all the comments from the last video on the progress I'm making on my Christmas village and my ideas for putting Grandpa on there. You guys are all very sweet. And this is the town church. So those are the 3 new ones that I got. And this week I worked on the train station and the pet shop. And I have needles and thread everywhere, so. Okay, that one's at least connected still. Okay, let me see if I can fold this over some. So the train station's right here, but I haven't really worked too much on it. Of course, this is like the one day I have coffee up here, and I'm gonna get coffee on everything. So that's just the very outside of the train station itself. So there's Grandma's house. That one's pretty much done. I just need to do some trees and add Grandpa still. So the only other thing I really worked on, is the pet shop. I don't know why, but this felt like it took forever. And so I lost some enthusiasm for the project because this roof First of all, it's hickory sticks, and I would never buy Classic Colorworks hickory sticks again because it is not variegated at all. I don't know if it's supposed to be. You know, I've had people be like, not all fancy floss is variegated. Sometimes it's just over dyed. Well, no, if I just wanted one color of floss, I'm going to spend 57 cents or 56 cents and get DMC. So that is hickory sticks. I mean, it looks variegated here, but it's really not. It's just like a faded brown color. And so for the money, I would rather just go ahead and use a brown DMC. But I got one of the little puppies done, and I'm probably going to do some beads for the collar. I think that's going to be a bird. But yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it's the same size as the school, and it just felt like it took forever. And there's even big old windows that aren't going to get filled in on the pet shop. So, I mean, it's certainly coming along still. I started this, I looked back on my Instagram, and I started it, I think, around June 1st. So it's been maybe 5 weeks. It's going way fast. I was hoping to just get this done before Christmas. So the sweet shop's gonna go here, the florist is gonna go here, and then the church is gonna go up there next to the trees. Okay, God, I hear my kids going insane downstairs, and it's hard for me to concentrate. We were gonna go on a hike today. There's something, it's called the Paint Mines in Callahan, Colorado. It's 45 minutes northeast of us. And it's where Native Americans would use these amazing, beautiful colors in the mountains, the clay, to make paints with. So it's called the Paint Mines. And it kind of reminds me of the Painted Desert, which I think is in New Mexico. We visited there when we were driving to California once as kids. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's just giant, not caverns, I don't know what I'm thinking of. But they're made of clay, and it's beautiful. But it's an 1.5 hour round trip, and there's literally nothing there. It's a hike, that's it. It's a 4-mile trail. There's no tourist center, there's no playground, there's no nothing. And so, as much as I would love to see it, and I think my kids, my eldest, would think it was cool, I don't know if it's gonna be cool enough for a 90-minute car ride. So, we might just go to a playground today. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show this. I did work on this very briefly. This is from my farmhouse Christmas series from Little House Needleworks also. This is the first one in the series. And I used this 28 count fabric from Joann's, and I'm pretty sure it's garbage. Like, I have nothing else to compare it to. I do have some 28 count fabric coming from my massive haul, but it's just so see-through. It's just driving me nuts. And like this, I mean, I feel like you can really hardly see it. It looks so much better on camera. I don't know. I might just finish this one and then switch to a different cloth for the other ones, and it's okay if they're different. I'll live with it because it's going to be on a Christmas tree, so they're going to be all scattered and not right next to each other. But the only thing I did on this week was the one sheep and maybe this part of the roof. Like I said, I just kind of, I'm undecided if I'm going to keep using this 28 count fabric or switch to something else. Get some coffee. Oh. Hold on, I'm too OCD. I have to put this stuff away. This is my little house, my hometown holidays. I did not put it back in the bag. I also had somebody ask about the thickness of the bags and being able to fit, you know, thick things in it. Well, I have this stack of patterns and my fabric, which is a large piece of fabric. Everything fits in there just fine. With room to spare even. So they're pretty roomy. Okay, I keep rocking on my chair. My low back is hurting. I shouldn't be doing this. Okay, so the next thing, the only other thing that I worked on, I did not work on my Mill Hill Village, which I really need to finish. I have just, these people who like set a schedule of what projects they're gonna work on, like Miss Oh So Crafty, like she's got like a 5-day rotation, and I'm pretty sure it's because she uses a scroll frame and it is a pain in the butt to take things on and off, and all of her pieces are so big. I stitch in hand for almost everything. But she will work on a project, an assigned project for the week, and then I think on the weekend just do small ornaments, small projects like that. I could never do that. I only stitch on what I feel like stitching on. And I'm usually a very self-disciplined person, but when it comes to cross stitch, like if I don't feel like working on a project, I'm not gonna make myself do it for 2 hours at night. Like that is my time to relax and unwind. I wanna do it on whatever I wanna work on. So this week, that has been my dad's fishing pattern. This is from the Cooler Design Studio. Trying to push the threads down. And they have this whole series that's just like this. They're narrow and they've got a big word like spring, autumn. I think there's like a golfing one. And so my goal, as I started working on this, it's only been, I guess, maybe a week and a half, was to get to this banner by the end of July. So the flies, the fly tying stuff, this picture of this guy, a black and white photo, and this banner. That was I was like, if I get to that by July, and then I can do this big thing in August, that would leave September and October to just do this part. And I think that is a reasonable plan of how to get things done in time for my dad's birthday. I'm looking at myself and I need to look at, hi guys. His birthday's November 5th. So I really need to have it mailed out. I mean, realistically, I don't know if the 5th is, you know, on a Monday or something, but I could probably mail it out right before Halloween. Ooh, God, Halloween. So excited. So I still have July, August, September, October, almost 4 full months. Well, I got farther than I expected this week. Now I need to go back and do all the flies and the fly tying stuff in the guy's picture, but I think I can definitely finish this by the end of July. I say that, and now watch, the month just always goes by so fast, but look at the ombre effects on those letters. That is so beautiful to me. When I first started this project, I think last week I mentioned I was not loving it because, ooh, this white looks good. It's so much backstitch, like so much backstitch. But it's not quite as bad once I made it to the big letters. And that was my goal, was I did this little fly and then I went down to whatever this part is just so I could hit the letters and start working on those. So I just need to finish filling in the letters and the G curves around pretty far. And then there's the big banner part. And I can't do more of the G because I need to do this thing in front of it first, this little fish jumping out of the water. But it's going pretty quick. I'm kind of surprised at how quick it's going now. I know it's because it's just solid color. It's like once I get into this, it's gonna slow down. Like I said, I still need to finish all these tiny, I've done just that one, all these little flies. And that's where I got discouraged because there's like so many fractional stitches. There's a quarter stitch, a half cross, a 3/4 cross, back stitching everywhere. And it was taking forever. And it's kind of how my Halloween village is right now. I'm 95% done with the house and I just have the details left and I just don't like doing the details. Somebody asked me in the last week's video, I responded to most comments, but not all of them. So I need to catch up. What is a confetti stitch? A confetti stitch is something where you're doing, it's just like one color, you need to do blue here, and then a blue here, and then here, and then here. And it's just like confetti, it's just all over the pattern. I hate that, hate it. But I'm really liking this one so far. I did start the back stitching on the top of this F, so you can see the difference it makes on this F versus like the S. And I'm not gonna back stitch anymore until I have the banner done behind it. I just didn't think about it and I was so excited to like fully finish a letter. So that's all I have to show for today of my stuff. I'm going to show my mom's and then we'll get into some shop news and then the giveaway. So this is a cross stitch that my mom did for me. I was reading the tag on the back. When I was born. I might bring the camera up. Let's see. Sorry if it's gonna shake a lot. Oh, it's got a glare. But it's just cute little, kind of like nursery animals. She did not do too much cross stitch, so this might have been her first piece. She did one for my brother too that he has. And this right now is in my daughter's room. Because it kind of goes well with the nursery baby thing. Super cute, super sweet. It's got me motivated to work on my daughters more. You know, I'm going to do the tiny modernist medieval castle for her because I just think it's so cute and I always call her a princess. I was talking to my mom the other day about that, like before I had kids. I was like, oh, I'd never call my daughter a princess, like they're not princesses, like don't give them false realities or something. Who knows what I said. Yeah, she's a princess. I call her princess every single day. She's a feisty princess, but I do call her princess. All right, so shop news. I might just flash it a little bit. Panama City spring break, woo! I grew up outside of Panama City. I said in a previous video, and I was kind of joking, kind of serious, after the 4th of July, July 5th starts Halloween season for me. And I don't actually put decorations out. I'll start putting pumpkin and fall stuff out probably middle of August. We'll see what it's like here because we haven't lived here in a fall season yet. So in Alaska, it was definitely fall in end of August. And I feel like when kids go back to school, like that's also the signal of fall. So I'll start putting some fall-ish stuff out in August, which is like 5 weeks from now, like middle of August is. And I will start putting, I don't put Halloween stuff out until September 1st. Like as much as I love it, I don't think I go crazy with it. Like I'm not putting it out in August. And I have actually never put out my entire Spooky Town village, ever, not once. It's so big. I have been collecting the Spooky Town pieces for at least a decade, if not more like 12 years now. And I will just try to buy 1 or 2 of the big pieces a year. So that means I have like 15 big Spooky Town pieces, and I just don't have anywhere to put them, especially where little grabby hands can get them and break them and eat them and do stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to put out more this year, and I'll do a house tour when I do because it's excessive. It is, I admit, it's excessive. We go, my husband's just as bad, not so much with Halloween, but he really enjoys the holidays. We love creating these memories for our kids. We have a room in our basement that's a walk-in closet that is just wall-to-wall decor. Halloween and Christmas boxes. They have a box of 4th of July, a box for Valentine's Day. Yeah. So this is not necessarily, this is not Halloween. I know that sugar skulls are not a Halloween thing. They are I think Day of the Dead thing, which is not Halloween. I get that. I'm not trying to be like culturally insensitive. It's just, I guess, a coincidence. I've had this fabric for a little while, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go ahead and use it because it's amazing. So this bag is in the shop now, and it has glitter on it. And every time I get glitter, I try to make sure like none came off because I don't want glitter getting on my cross stitch. So this is pretty secure glitter. And you guys look at that. I'm just obsessed with these fabrics. These batiks, I think it's got this really cool, spooky, eerie vibe to it. I love it. So this one is in the shop. I love it. Links below if you want to check it out. And then I also have 2 more Christmas ones being added, hopefully tomorrow morning. I can get them done today. Yeah, I'll be able to get them done today. I've got a couple outstanding orders I need to get to, and then I'm gonna finish these, and then they should be posted in the shop tomorrow. So one is a Christmas baking theme. Again, this is just a zipper pull, but look at how cute. It's called We Whisk You a Merry Christmas. I love it so much. Baking during Christmas time is one of my favorite memories. And then there's the fabric that's going to be behind the vinyl, the red polka dots. And then that's the main fabric. And then the other Christmas related one, and there's some threads everywhere because I haven't trimmed these down yet. I just made the zipper pulls last night, and then I was too tired to finish the bags, so I'm gonna finish them today. This is a very retro, which you could probably already tell, vintage Christmas pattern. It's this beautiful, beautiful lady decorating the tree and wrapping presents and getting ready for the holidays. This is not doing the fabric justice. Hold on. Mini break. It's right here. I can grab it. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back. It's just the fabric you have to see. It's so cute. Look at her. It reminds me of vintage Christmas movies. And like from the 50s when all the women would wear dresses and always look cute and wear their pearl necklaces and have heels on and little petticoats, and I just love it so much. She's so classy. It's so sweet. So that's going to be the main fabric, and then behind the vinyl is this cute coordinating polka dot. I love it. I was singing Christmas songs to my kids yesterday, so I'm just all about the fall and winter holidays at this point. So those should be up in the shop tomorrow. If you follow me on Instagram, Erica D, letter D House, and the link is below too, if you just want to click on that. I will post pictures when these are up because I kind of post things there when they have been finished. Okay, so before I get into giveaways, I do want to do one shout out because she's hilarious and I really like her. So I haven't actually watched any of her Flosstubes yet. If she's watching, which I have no idea if she does, I'm sorry. I thought I did. And then this morning as I was getting ready for this and I was like, oh, I want to shout her out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even think I've seen her Flosstubes. But I follow her on Instagram and we've exchanged a couple convos on Instagram and she's really funny and really sweet. It is Kismet Stitches. On Instagram, I think she's just Kismet Stitches, but I'll link her Flosstube below. She's been doing them for a while, so that's awesome because I need more people to binge watch on. You guys gave me some great suggestions last week. I did start watching, I think her name's Nicole's Needlework. She reminds me of Miss Oh So Crafty. Very, very talented, very sedate, very calm, very quiet, and I'm like off the wall. But I really liked watching her and Nicole D, maybe? Kind of does, she did like a geek cross-stitch wall tour and I was like, all right, you had me there. You had me a geek. Like Harry Potter stuff. Can't remember what else she had, but I really liked her. So it is Kismet Stitches. She's really funny. Like I said, she's been doing Flosstubes for a while, so I get to have something to go back and binge watch on, and she's just fun to follow on Instagram too. Okay, so the giveaways for last week, I had 2. And I still need to get last week's giveaway winner out. I don't know why, I'm so good about shipping my bags. Like I get almost all my bags done within, I get them all done within 3 to 5 days and out the next day. And for some reason with giveaways, I just suck at mailing them out in a timely manner. But last week we had 2. We had the baby sampler that I got for my daughter, but now I'm just gonna do that castle and add her name and stuff to it. And the kitchen. So the winner of the baby, sorry. The winner of the baby is Deb C. And the winner of the kitchen, it's Elizabeth, but her username or screen name was 3ElizabethXO. And she left a very sweet comment, thank you. So if you guys can email me, my email's below. It's so weird to see myself on camera still. It's kind of awkward. I will get these out in the mail as soon as I possibly can and as soon as I remember, which hopefully will not be too late. The giveaway for this week, and this was kind of painful for me to part with, but I just have to be realistic with myself that I'm probably not going to stitch it anytime soon because there's other Halloween patterns that I have. Speaking of which, if you have Halloween patterns from With Thy Needle and Thread, holla at me. If you're looking to sell them, if you're trying to destash, if you just have them laying around, there are like 4 or 5 from With Thy Needle and Thread that I really, really want to do, and a couple of them are no longer sold at 123 Stitch. I know I could probably find them fairly easily on eBay or whatnot, but if anybody seems to have any, let me know. Okay, so the giveaway for this week is going to be this Halloween house sampler from the Drawn Thread, and it is so cute. It's got the alphabet. I don't know what this is. It says KMZ and then S plus C. So I'm guessing that's initials and then maybe, I don't know. I mean, you could just omit that, but I love it. The colors of the house are beautiful. The pumpkin tree is so cute. The little witch. I love everything about it. It uses some overdyed floss from Weeks Dye Works, mostly DMC, but some from Weeks Dye Works, and it says Needle Necessities. I've never even heard of those. I don't know if this is an old chart, I think. So I don't know, 1994, yeah. Oh no, 1998. If you would like to win this, let me think of a question. When do you start decorating for fall? If you decorate for fall. If not, you can just say you don't decorate for fall. But if you do, when do you start? That'd be kind of interesting to see. Also, one last thing, and I hate to even bring it up because I can't really talk about it or show it. I stayed up till like 12:30 last night, and I get up at 6:30 to shoot these, so I'm a little tired. But I don't have to water my garden. Oh, that was one other thing I'll say, and then I'll get going. we had a hailstorm this week. It was when my husband was fishing, so it must have been on like Friday. We don't get too bad of hail here, like the size-wise at least. This one was probably the size of like maybe a nickel at the biggest. In the other parts of the springs, they can get on the size of baseballs sometimes. So it's insane, and they've ruined cars. But we got a small one. I didn't think too much of it. You know, we watched it. I took a video. I posted it on Instagram. And then yesterday, I went outside and I checked my plants, and my poor pumpkin plant was destroyed. I mean, it's still alive, but it just has holes everywhere from the hail. My sunflowers have holes in them. My amaranth has holes in them. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so depressing. It could have been a lot worse. Everything else is fine. My tomatoes, corn, peas, beans, peppers, everything else is fine. I have one raised bed, and it is covered with hail cloth. Lettuce, spinach, cauliflower, onions, carrots, stuff like that. So those weren't even touched. My flowers in the front yard kind of got beat up, and then just the pumpkin and sunflowers in the backyard because their leaves are this big. You know, the corn leaves are that big, so it's less likely a piece of hail will land directly on them, but the pumpkins were pretty big. So that stinks. So I started working on a project last night, and once I started working on it, I could not stop working on it, and I was up till 12:30. I am hoping it's a new design. It's finished. I just need to stitch it. So I need to get to Ruth's Stitchery this week because I want to check out some of their over-dyed flosses. I probably will just use one or two. I think it only has 6 colors in it, and the rest of it will be DMC because I don't like doing all over-dyed floss, and some of the colors in there are pretty small, but there are a brown and a green that's probably the bulk of the pattern, and I would like to do those in over-dyed. So I will go and check that out and see, hopefully get some threads tomorrow and start stitching it up and maybe have it done next week. It's a fairly small pattern. It's 6 by 8. But it's not full coverage, and there's some words on there, so I think I could get it done in a week. And excited is an understatement. Like I said, I literally could not stop working on it last night. I was beyond myself. It is a sampler of sorts. There's no alphabet on there. It has a bunny, a rabbit, I'll say rabbit, it's more mature, a primitive looking rabbit, and a peacock. There, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you every week. Like I said, I enjoy, my son's yelling for me now. I enjoy doing this a lot. I am just so happy with it and very glad that I started and very glad that I'm a part of this community. I would like to eventually start giving back more, if that makes sense. I am very big into charity and charitable causes and giving back to your community. And I'm trying to think of a way to do that with needlework. Like with gardening, eventually I would like to reach out to some local schools and say, hey, I would love to set up a garden for you guys and teach your kids about gardening. I've always been like that. It's been really hard with young kids to volunteer because I always have to bring them with me, and they're 3 and 1, so that's not really gonna work. When I was making more money, I was very into giving back financially, as much as I possibly could. And so now, as you know, I don't really have that much money to donate, but I have the time again. So I'm trying to think of ways to kind of give back with that. And I know some people do auctions for charity with donated items for cross stitch, like Bendy Stitchy does, I think. So I don't know, my wheels are turning on how I can kind of continue with this needlework and start giving back more, you know, teaching classes for free to other people who want to start cross stitch, to, you know, help get other people into it, anything like that. So if you have any ideas on that, let me know too. But thank you guys for joining. I hear my kids screaming for me. So we're gonna go to a playground and have a fun day today, and I will see you guys next week.